What's up guys, Happy Droid Development here. We have one of the dreaded PSB-11s in for repair. This is a customer's radio. The problem with this one was actually two major faults. The buttons weren't responding when the customer was pressing the buttons. It did absolutely nothing. He had to kind of like physically hold the button down before it actually did anything, which wasn't very good. It was very unresponsive and very slow to respond. The customer did think the buttons were faulty, but the buttons were actually fine. I'll explain in a minute what caused that problem in a second. Another fault was the battery. This battery clip, it uses these very chintzy and very cheap and nasty little battery clips, and over time when you're popping these off the battery, there's physically no other way to do it but grab the wire and kind of physically pull it off. What happens is one will pop up first and then the other one's kind of stuck on the battery. You yank that one off second, and over time that causes this to kind of bend in the middle, and the battery leads that are soldered to this part eventually break off. So these are very nasty. I wouldn't even use these in any kind of a device, to be honest. So I would recommend, even if you do have a PSB-11, replace that clip if you're having problems with it. I've replaced this one with a sturdy plastic one, so these ones are much better. You just kind of wedge your thumb under there and flick them off. It doesn't bend or anything, you know, any kind of weird problem there. It just easily snaps off, and I'll show you where that clips on in a second. The next problem is obviously all the solder joints. I don't know what type of solder they're using, but it was very grey and very crusty, and it was like flaking off. So I went around all the buttons, everything, and wicked off all the old solder, reapplied fresh solder. Round the back, let me see if I can flip this over. This is where I connected the new battery terminal. It's marked here battery positive, battery negative. The original clip had a little plug on it which was plugging in here, so you just pull that off, you don't need it anymore, and solder on your battery clip here, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else there. But what I did here was I reflowed with my reflow iron here, reflowed all the little teeny chips. Everything looks nice and shiny now. It was very dull and grey, and this should fix the problem for a while at least. The bigger components I've reapplied fresh solder to, and that's pretty much it on this side of the board. Also the speaker terminals, they were very loosely soldered on here, so refixed those, and round the front, tacked in everything nice and neat again. So now it kind of responds, no problems. It comes on instantly. It used to take about 2 minutes before it would even turn on. Now it works properly. The only problem I've got now is this LED button here. So when you press this, that light goes out and that's supposed to go blue. This one isn't working anymore, so I'm going to try and resolder that and see if it fixes it. Like this one here, when you press it, it lets you know when you're in AM or FM. When it's red it's in FM, when it's blue it's in AM. I mean, that's not really a big problem. At least it kind of works. You can kind of tell it's still working. But I'm going to try and fix that before I put it together. On the headphone jack, this had the problem. These bus bars were extremely huge. They were just kind of what this does is it divides the stereo channel into a mono channel, and the leads that were on here were stupid. Whoever soldered them on needs sacked. They were very long and just like kind of bent upwards, and so I've reapplied new bus bars here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Got this working. Going to try and address that LED and get this back together, get back off to the customer. One thing I would say about this board is extremely thin. So with these buttons, because this board is so wide and most of the buttons are on the middle, don't press these buttons in hard, because I guarantee you over the time the solder points will break on these, just due to the experience I've had with this type of ghost box already. This is the third one I've fixed already. and also the S box. I don't know if you remember that one, and go back and see the video. Had the same type of problem. It all needed a reflowed and stuff, just because the boards are so thin. When you're pressing on the buttons, it is flexing on the board, so just be very careful when you're clicking the buttons. Don't like really press them hard, otherwise you will end up with this kind of problem over time. So yeah, that is it. This is fixed. I'm going to get this sent back off to the customer. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.